Hey guys, in this video I'm gonna show you how to simplify a certain radicals having this form: a bigger radical a plus another radical b, or a certain radical a minus another radical b. So whenever we have such kind of radicals, these are the formulas that we can use to simplify such kind of radicals. So it's not common to see this kind of simplification, so I want to make you familiar with using such kind of simplification. So I have two examples on how to use such kind of simplifications. For example, the first one we are asked radical 3 plus another radical 8 minus radical 3 minus radical 8. So these radicals have exactly this form and this form. So when we consider the first one, 3, you can take in place of a, you can take 3, in place of b you can take 8. So let me do it. The first one is radical 3 plus radical 8. So using this form, you can take a is 3 here and b is 8. So apply the above formula. So using this notation, so radical 3 plus radical 8 becomes 3 plus another radical. Here we have another radical. A square means 3 square minus 8 over 2. This 2 is inside the radical. So plus another big radical 3 minus in the radical 3 square minus 8 over 2. You see, it's very simple. So 3 square is 9. Okay, this is 3 square. 3 square is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. So use these values in the right manner. So it becomes 3 plus this result is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. 3 plus 1 over 2 plus another radical 3 minus this thing. 3 square is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1 over 2. So this becomes 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2 in the radical 2 plus 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 over 2 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Therefore, the first expression, this expression becomes radical 2 plus 1. Again, let us calculate the second expression, 3 minus radical 8. So to simplify this one, we can write radical 3 minus radical 8. Consider this as a and this as b, and apply the second formula. Okay, so this the bigger radical 3 minus radical 8 have exactly this form. Okay, it has this form. Therefore, apply the second formula to evaluate this thing. So when we apply the second formula, it becomes 3 plus another radical 3 square minus 8 over 2 minus the bigger expression 3 minus in the radical 3 square minus 8 over 2. So 3 square is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So the number becomes 3 plus 1 over 2 minus the second expression. This 3 square is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So it becomes 3 minus 1 over 2. So this result is 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2 in the radical 2 minus 1. So we are asked now the difference between this and this one. So the difference between the difference between 3 plus radical 8 and 3 minus radical 8 is, the first one, 3 plus radical 8 is radical 2 plus 1. So in place of it, substitute radical 2 plus 1. And the bigger radical 3 minus 8 is root 2 minus 1. So substitute in its place. So the result becomes radical 2 plus 1. Distribute this negative. So it becomes minus radical 2, and negative 1 plus becomes plus. So now negative radical 2 is positive, radical 2 is 0. So the result is 1 plus 1, which is 2. Therefore, the simplified form of 3 plus radical 8 is radical 8 minus 3 minus radical 8 is 2. So to solve the second example, we need to write this problem first in the required manner. Radical 5 plus 2 root 6 is equivalent to 5 plus radical 24 minus 5 minus radical 24, because 2 root 6 is exactly the same as radical 24. You can check this thing. So now I can apply the formula that we have. So the first thing, I have to rewrite the radical 5 plus radical 24 in this manner. 5 plus radical 5 square minus 24 over 2. This 2 is inside the radical, plus radical 5 minus 5 square minus 24 over 2. So 5 square is 25. 25 minus 24 is 1. Therefore, we will get 5 plus 1 over 2 plus 5 minus 1 over 2, which is radical 3 plus 6 over 2 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. So the first part, this radical is exactly radical 3 plus radical 2. So again, we need to calculate this part. Which is 5 minus radical 24 is square root of 5 plus radical 5 square minus 24 over 2. Whenever this is minus, I will use minus here. Here it's plus. Look, whenever this is plus, here it will becomes plus. Whenever here we have minus, here it becomes minus. So that is how the formula is working. So this is exactly 5 minus radical 5 square minus 24 over 2, which is 5 square is 25. 25 minus 24 is 1. So square root of 1 is 1. So it becomes 5 plus 1 over 2 minus 5 minus 1 over 2, which becomes radical 3 minus radical 2. By the way, these two are the same. The first and the second are the same except the sign between the radicals. So this becomes radical 2. Now the question is, what is the difference between 5 plus radical 24 minus 5 minus radical 24? So the first expression, radical 5 plus 24 is this one, radical 24. The second one is this one. So take in their position radical 2 plus radical 3 plus radical 2 minus radical 3 minus radical 2. So this is radical 3 plus radical 2 minus radical 3. This minus of minus becomes plus. So this radical 3 will be eliminated. The result will be radical 2 plus radical 2, which is 2 radical 2. Therefore, the difference between these two radicals, 5 plus radical 24 and 5 minus radical 24 is 2 radical 2. So the answer for the second one will be 2 radical 2. So this is how the given formula is working.